Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome to the brand new Smallville Retrospective. So you're gonna. Okay, I just had to check. So you are probably gonna be like, wait, didn't you already start doing this? I did. 3 years ago in 2020, I started reviewing, could be even 4 years ago in 2019, but 2020, I started reviewing the episodes of Smallville and then stopped. Um, And so then I finished off the rest of that season and just reviewed the entire first season. Well, I wanted to go back to this, and so I decided to just restart. Under the idea that I erased all the old episodes. I don't. I didn't. They're still on the channel. But I'm restarting. You see, the title cards are going to be different. The thumbnail is going to be different. I have titles on there, show title, episode title. Some are the same pictures from before, but it's between. So, yes. So, yeah, let's go back. And this is 2023 Scotty talking here about this. So we're revisiting. I'm going to do the whole thing. I have everything past Hug. I have everything up to Leech. All the, the thumbnail title cards, all the way up to Leech. So I at least have to go to there. And we're starting with the pilot, of course. And we're starting with the last episode. Starting with the pilot. And so going back and rewatching this, all right? Boy, is this a time capsule of 2001. Oh, shit. I was in a transition in 2001. Let's see. I would have been in middle school, I think. Yeah, graduated in 2006. So I was in my 8th grade year in the start of 2001 when this came out. Now, I've said this before on the channel. I did not get into this until the break between seasons 3 and 4. So in 2004, when I watched this, they were showing reruns. They had 2 episodes a night back when they did that. And so, it was Magnetic and the one where Lex's psyche breaks. Well, that 2 episodes that got me into the show, and I really liked it. And then I got into it in season 4, and I think we stopped having cable after a while. So, yeah. Even basic cable, we had just antenna at a certain point. That's how it was. We couldn't afford it, But so, going back and watching this, oh my. Like I said, it's a time capsule of 2001. From the music, to the way everything looks, to the CGI. Oh, by the way, press play, and I'm slapping in the face. With 2001 CGI. Just, because it's the meteor shower. The whole story is that, Superman, or Clark Kent, comes to Earth in a meteor shower. So you see that meteor shower. Oh boy, 2001 CGI. Wow, not so good. He is not so good. Just wow. Just wow. Oh man. And noticing this, I already knew this, but they tie Lex Luthor's origin, Clark's origin, really, to kind of have them connected, as during this day, Lionel Luthor, who is, I think, is the first time we see Lex Luthor's dad, is bringing Lex into town because he's making a deal for the cream corn factory that we find out later. And that's the plant that Lex ends up managing, the cream corn factory. But he's making a deal there. The meteor shower happens, and Lex loses his hair. Now, that's always been kind of tied to Superman in the comics, where it was Superman's fault that Lex went bald, that sort of thing. So they kind of did that here in this way. Although, there's one little piece of his hair, I've always wondered this, it was like one little piece sticking on top of his head. And I wondered, does he have to keep shaving that little bit? Like Lex Luthor, not Michael Rosenbaum, who's fantastic in the role, by the way. And as his role gets more and more Lex-like, he becomes more and more fantastic. But you see a little bit of the red hair in the middle, and I'm thinking, so does he have to shave that little bit? Is that... And of course... Jonathan and Martha can't find little Clark, which he's aged up in this. Usually he's a baby, right? And on the other ones, here he's like four, 5-ish. You know, and Lex is 9, so he's supposed to be older, but yeah, just they find him, you know, the whole thing. But they also tied something else to it. Lana Lang, they're the 3 main characters. You see them on a lot of, you know, merchandise and everything. Merchandising. You see them on a lot of merchandise. And so they're the 3 characters, and they get sort of origins. You see Lex losing his hair. You see Clark coming to Earth, and then you see Lana's parents get freaking obliterated by a meteor. I mean, it's 2001 CGI meteor. But yeah, she's there. I don't want to call them Charles and Martin Kent. No, Charles and Martha Kent. Jonathan and Martha Kent, they come into her Aunt Nell's flower shop to get a flower. And you can tell that Nell she wants to smash Jonathan, okay? She wants to get smashed by Jonathan. She's like, Jonathan. And then Martha looks at you, she goes, oh, Martha. Like, oh, she wants to smash. She wants to get smashed. But anyway, Lana is there. She's a fairy princess. And I'm sorry, I don't care what IMDb says, that's not Miranda Cosgrove. It's not. They even do a close-up of her. It's not her. It can't be. It makes no sense. It looks nothing like her. But, yeah, and she is front and center when her parents get smashed by that meteor. She's like, Mommy, Daddy. And then just get obliterated by this thing. And the next shot, you see Lana going, meh, and it's just, Jesus. This meteor shower affects everything in it, you know, in this small town. And so they find, you know, Clark. They call him Clark. And it just cuts to the farm, present day, as it says. And you can get a little title card in the thing that says Smallville, not big. You think you would show the row of corn and then big Smallville. You do not hear the Smallville theme song. Let me talk to you about the menu. All right, this is back when DVD menus had something and weren't just picture and selections. All right, this is back when they actually put effort into these DVDs. You hear the theme song playing. You see clips from throughout the season, and you get the menu. And there's stuff moving. It's moving interactive menus, as they called them back in the day. I miss those menus because now they're too lazy, man. They're even lazy with the discs. Like, okay, those are good, but I don't know what lazy with the discs. Okay, no, they don't put pictures on the discs anymore. Is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, they just put logos and labels and stuff. Disney used to have such cool stuff, but anyway. So yeah, and so at the beginning of this episode, I believe he has his super strength, or maybe not. He has his super speed, because he's looking on the internet for the fastest person alive or whatever. And so, you know, he's gonna miss the bus or anything. He doesn't want to miss the bus, but he wants to try out for football. He must have his super strength. If you know, I can keep it down. You know, I can keep my powers down. So he must have the super strength and the super speed. But he doesn't have his invulnerability yet, or at least he doesn't know about it. We'll get to that. But his dad is, of course, skeptical. It's like, well, you play football. That was different. It is different, you know. And you know, back in the day when I'm the teenager, I think that's so unfair. But now I'm the parent. I'm thinking, no, that's completely fair. You have these powers that you cannot control, not completely. He's all I could do, but in the heat of the thing, you know, and that comes back in season 4, by the way. But in the heat of the game, who knows? You know, it's one thing to trust your child, but also you don't know. You really don't know. You know what I mean? As a result of this conversation, he misses the bus, to which we see his friends Pete the Boss Ross, played by Sam Jones III, and Chloe, unfortunately played by Allison Mack. I'm not going to get into all that shit, okay, but so he gets to high school maybe before or around the same time as them, And that Chloe's break goes, wait a minute, you missed the bus, blah, blah, blah. But he's super sped there, so but they don't know that. And I remember, so by the time I watched this, Pete, spoiler alert, Pete already knew about Clark's powers. And I gotta point it out because when I went to rewatch these, I rented these from the library. And so I wanted to rewatch them, I'm like, wait, does Pete not know about his powers? He doesn't, not yet. And so he goes to talk to Lana Lang, his crush. And, okay, so I'm still confused. All these years later, 22 years later, I'm still confused. Does he trip because he's clumsy? Or does he trip because she's wearing the kryptonite necklace? Which he later finds out is things, you know. Even Chloe has a comment. He becomes a doofus around Lana Lang or something. So, and we get he's got Nietzsche, and we get the line that was in all the trailers back in the day. So what are you, man or Superman? Which has to do with Nietzsche, I guess. Friedrich Nietzsche or whatever it is. What are you, man or Superman? And that's one of the quotable lines. The other one's at the end of the episode that were from all the trailers when this came out. What are you, man or Superman? Even when they were airing the reruns on ABC Family back in the day, they had that, are you man or Superman? And then the other quote. But, yes, so one thing I forgot to mention, there was another backstory in the flashback at the beginning. There's this guy whose name I don't know. I want to call him Jeremy, but I don't know what his name is Jeremy. We'll just call him Jeremy. And he is Jeremy Creek. Is that his name? Is it Jeremy Creek? I don't know. Let's call him Jeremy. Jeremy was the scarecrow. So every year, the jocks, they pick a scarecrow, some person that they string up. I think it's usually a guy they string up in the cornfield for the homecoming game. I think it's a homecoming game. And so that's why Clark and Pete wanted to try out football teams, so thinking they won't choose one of their own, you know. And so we have Whitney. We meet Whitney Foreman, Lana's boyfriend. He is the stereotypical, he's the boyfriend, so there's an obstacle between Clark and Lana. Even though us Superman fanboys know that Clark and Lana aren't endgame, but they gotta play it up like they are, and I think that's one of my problems with this show is that they do that too much. It's like Ross and Rachel type thing. They do that too much. But unlike with Ross and Rachel, you know they're not going to end up together. You know that Clark and Lois is always endgame. So, or Clois, as the people say. But, yeah. Whitney's there to be the thorn in the side, the monkey wrench in the cogs sort of person for this. And, So this show had a Media Freak of the Week thing, and it kind of adheres to that with Jeremy, but he's small compared to the other ones that have come along. And Clark ends up going through the graveyard. I think he's just walking home. And he goes through the graveyard, and he meets with Lana, who's talking to her dead parents, which is really normal, you know. Talk to the dead parents, talk to stuff, ducks and elder gods, but wizard, they have a conversation, and Whitney happens to see them, you know. Oh, and I should say that Lana gave Whitney her necklace, her kryptonite necklace or meteor rock necklace, she gave it to Whitney for good luck in the football game, but Whitney sees this and gets jealous because that's what he's there for. I would say that Pete and Chloe have a smaller role sort of thing. Oh, I remember what happened. They investigate this Jeremy guy because these former jocks are all getting attacked. And so Chloe shows them the wall of weird. All the weird things that have happened when the town went schizo, as she said. That's another quote. This is my wall of weird. And on there is Lana on there. And so Clark realizes it's his fault. Because at this point, I forgot to mention, he's been told, I missed a very important part of this episode. The car crash. After the tryouts, Clark walks home, and he's standing on the bridge. Lex Luthor is driving home, and I'm so out of order here. And like one of those trucks that carry the logs, like logs with barbed wire on it or something, or just like maybe it's a roll of barbed wire. It falls down. Lex is not paying attention, distracted driving, and he runs over one of them, and he completely crashes right into Clark. And Clark saves his life. Jonathan shows up. And you can tell there's some kind of problem between Jonathan and the Luthor because he doesn't trust Lex. He thinks he's just like his father. But we're led to believe is, supposed to be that what Clark says is that you crashed and I jumped in after you and saved you. Although when he gets back, Jonathan is in the wood chipper, and this is where he puts his arm in, and that's where you get the revelation. And he says, I didn't dive in after Lex. He hit me at 60 miles an hour, and he was completely safe. And they didn't know about that yet. And this was my realization that, they didn't know that he was, then later. So it's after the Wall of Weird thing when he realizes that everything is his fault. He assumes because it's the meteor shower that caused all the problems. He didn't know that that's how Lana's parents died, but maybe he just came to the realization. This is after he shows what happened is when they revealed to him that he's an alien. He came from space. He's like, what is my spaceship in the attic? And he's like, actually, it's in the storm cellar. And you see it in a octagonal disc. You'll becomes important later. But after finding out about the Wall of Weird and that he's partially responsible, at least he came in Meteor Shower, partially responsible for Lana's parents' death. He gets accosted by Whitney, who is wearing a necklace, so it weakens him. He doesn't know that, though. He goes to punch him. What was his plan, though, to punch him? Like, if he was going full strength, you could hurt him. But, no. They put the necklace around him. They tie him up as the Scarecrow. And this is when Jeremy shows up. He goes, don't worry. I'll make them pay. And then Lex happens to be driving by, and he sees Clark strung up, and maybe he sees Jeremy too, I don't know, and he saves him. The necklace falls off, and Lex is in possession of this necklace. So Clark goes back to school to save the kids, because he's this Jeremy guy that found out that there was some kind of electrical thing, and he's going to electrocute all the people in the gym. Clark's like, my friends are in it. Those aren't your friends. I'm like, well, at least 3 of them. Chloe, Lana, and Pete. They're his friends. But Whitney, he can suck a dick. But anyway, he saves them. But then, and I love this part. I can't interrupt. He stacks Whitney's truck along with a couple other trucks in a stack. That and there's weird editing here because he comes out and Whitney's like, what happened? And it cuts to Clark by a fence smiling, and then it cuts to Lana and she's looking at, like, she saw Clark, or is she looking at the trucks, because it's not explicit here. And then so what happens next is Clark is at home. He's looking through his telescope. We get a conversation with him and his dad. Oh, your grandfather brought me that telescope when I was about your age. Came downstairs, there it was. By the way, John Schneider, fantastic, is Jonathan Kent in this show. Just want to say, I know he's calling up. I got a guest coming over, but I got to finish this. So they have the conversation. He leaves, and then Lana shows up. Oh, I was supposed to save you a dance. You never showed up. And then they dance, but it's in his head. It's a whatever. And then he looks outside and cue the Lifehouse. You're all I want. You're all I need. You're everything everything. You see Lana look at the house like, you know. She, of course, can't see him, but that's how the episode ends. And that does actually lead to the next episode, because they recap that at the beginning of the next one. This is a great pilot, despite some of the weird CGI, like 2001 CGI making go, oh. It is good to go back and watch this. Now, I don't know. Like I said, I have a guest coming over, so I plan to do a lot more, but I don't know if I will do any more until after he leaves, whenever that is. But, yeah, this was good to go back. I will give it. Am I gonna do scores for these? I don't know if I will. Maybe I'll differentiate from my other ones. I will give it 4 Superman crests out of 5. Until then, what are your thoughts on the pilot to Smallville? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.